Welcome to Paint the Chat Podcast. Presented by Blockade Media. Now, here are your hosts, the big swinger, Mr. Robin Vogt, and fast on the bases, Mr. Sean Michaud.
He's a big spark plug.
Play ball.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Painting the Chat Podcast, episode number 8. Coming to you live from, we don't have a sponsored studio. That doesn't exist. Sean Michaud, my co-host over there. How's it going this evening?
It's doing well. I'm doing well. It's a Saturday night, enjoying the day off.
Yeah.
It's
been craziness. Can we get what? What can we get?
How about a big word for Alabama? Oh, this commercial, but
Ooh, okay. What's going on? Give us the update. What's going on over there?
It's Alabama versus Kentucky. So I mean, they're 5 up.
We talked about this last week about how important these next games are.
10 minutes left, so it's going to be. I mean, I hope they win. So
right.
It's important.
Right. Kentucky is ranked number 8 in the country. Or are they higher at this point?
They're a 17 seed.
They're 17.
Alabama is ranked 4.
Okay. So they've slipped a little bit since the beginning of the year. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
Surprising for Kentucky, but
that is very surprising for what was once a John Calipari led. Is John Calipari still the head coach? Maybe he is.
For
Kentucky. Yeah.
He should be.
I was like, wait a second. Why am I thinking that John Calipari's not the head coach there anymore? No, he totally is. John hasn't left.
Mark Pope.
Yeah, so Mark said so John's gone. Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say Mark, yeah.
So Mark Pope's the head coach. Maybe if they brought John Calipari back, they would be a higher seed.
Probably.
You could say in Pope you trust, but I mean, we know the Pope is going through some stuff right now, so we don't want to.
Yeah, it's literally this is the first year in Kentucky.
Okay.
What do you think? He came from BYU.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. What do you think is more popular in Kentucky? Let's lay it out there. Fried chicken, the Kentucky Derby, or Kentucky basketball? I mean, I guess you can have all three, but if you were to choose
the
most
the most popular, or what am I choosing?
Yeah. I mean, KFC. I mean, it's
KFC.
It's got to be KFC. It's got to be
KFC. And then although Kentucky basketball, and then I don't really watch the Kentucky Derby, so I'm sorry. I'm sorry for those for those horses.
The 3 people that watch our show that watch the Kentucky Derby. We're so sorry. We're sorry, but not sorry about it. How about that? We're sorry, but not sorry about it. Sean, there's been a lot of stuff going on. Baseball is back.
We're getting closer to March Madness. It's been crazy.
It's mind-boggling to me that I had an event today for my work. Shout out to my father-in-law for helping out the getting our new dishwasher in, because as you know, Sean, things fall apart in this household sometimes, or we're currently working on things. And he was a champ today, best father-in-law any son could ask for. Did an amazing job there. I come home, he's working on that. I bring home Jersey Mike subs to my beautiful wife, who is currently pregnant, and was very excited and thought I was going to bring them earlier than expected. So that's on me.
It is on you.
I need to set my expectations in the text message a little bit cleaner, a little bit smoother. But
not soon enough.
Or not soon enough. Not soon enough. If I say things are given the vibe of wrapping up and they're not wrapping up, then that's on me. All right. I'll do better next time. I come home and baseball's on. All right. spring training baseball. Red Sox win today against Tampa Bay.
So I haven't been watching any sports except this because I literally just turned it on and I was hanging out with a friend all day. So
yeah, absolutely. Red Sox had a great game today. Christian Campbell did really well. Let me say, Tyler Miller, who has risen up through from Winston-Salem to Portland to Worcester, the Woo Sox. I mean, kid is just swinging the bat hot right now. And we said this last week, Sean, is like come spring training, specifically with the Red Sox and prospects, like we're going to find out how good this Red Sox team can be based on who's going to be in AAA to start the season.
Oh yeah, and like hopefully we don't get any injuries, but if we do, there's always a backup, and that's why they have these prospects to come up and replace them.
Yeah,
even if it's the smallest injury.
So it really does come down to this. There's a lot of I was listening to the Nesson crew talk about it today. There's a lot of hope that Trevor Story is going to stay healthy this year. I don't know how much I trust that.
That's the only thing is pray and hope that he stays healthy.
I mean, Trevor plays shortstop, right? So, I mean, you kind of are at that interesting spot where Trevor can play there, but you also have David Hamilton that's come in, and Hamilton played really well at the end of last year.
Yeah.
So it's this really, and you got Roman Anthony, and now you got Tyler Miller coming out of nowhere, number 7, coming out of nowhere, and he's utility. He can play shortstop, he can play third base, he can play outfield. So now the Red Sox are in this interesting.
Maybe he'll do third since Bogarts. Bogarts.
Devers. Yeah.
Devers is making all the fuss.
Yeah, let's get into that too, because that's really instead of "Fuck Me Up Florida" is the title in honor of T Swift herself. It's "Drama Me Up Florida." Is there actually Rafael Devers drama?
Not really drama. It's just him.
I loved his answer. I love when they said, are you thinking about moving off of third base? And he just looked at the reporter like, what?
No.
Like, what are you talking about? And then Alex Cora comes out, manager Alex Cora, and he's like, I knew Rafi was going to say that. I knew he was going to say that. Like, I feel like Rafi and Alex Cora, they understand each other. They've been with each other now for a little bit here on the Sox.
I'm sure he also played it up for the media. I mean, that's what I think. That's what Devers is. I mean,
is there really drama here, Sean? Because it sounds like Alex Bregman. He came out like literally 3 hours later at the end of practice for the day and was like, "I don't fucking care. Put me at third. Put me at second. I just want to be part of this team."
Yeah.
So,
right. And I'm sure they already had in talks before Devers answered all this, saying no, saying that was his spot. So I'm just saying that's just terrible reporting.
I feel like it's just easy for us, like especially in this day and age, if something happens like that in a media session, it's like trouble in paradise. Oh no, Fort Meyers is about to catch fire because
is Devers getting traded? Question mark. No, he's not going to get traded.
No.
Not because for a stupid comment.
No, and there was this whole thing. It's like, well, if Devers moves to designated hitter, I said it last week, who's the most impressive and most valuable player that the Red Sox have had in like the last 25 years? Well, David Ortiz, and he was a designated hitter. Yeah. I don't care about any of that. I think as you, Sean, as a Sox fan, it's kind of like, listen, put him at third, put Bregman at second, and shut the fuck up.
That's what literally is happening right now.
Stop. Yeah.
That's why Devers said no, just because he knew it was not going to happen. Because probably before that, they already had in talks that was the whole game plan. Once Bregman was finally got to the Red Sox. That's what the whole trade was for, or him getting signed.
Yeah. They needed somebody at second base because Christian Campbell's not ready yet. Yeah. And he's not ready to make that jump just yet. So what do we have to do? Boom. Alex Bregman was available. John was willing to drop the money to go get him. And that's what ended up happening. And now the Sox have probably one of the best second, third basemen that were on the free that was on the free agent market. That's a part of this game.
Yeah.
We want to talk about drama, Sean. What the fuck is going on in Toronto right now?
Oh, I think you're gonna go with the Yankees again, but okay.
Well, no, we're gonna get into that too.
Or just ESPN. We'll get into that.
Yes, right. What the hell is going on in Toronto for Vladdy Jr. to be like, I'm not signing no extension up here. He wants out.
That's surprising.
I mean,
but I get it why he's doing it.
The Red Sox are favorites.
Does he
get him?
It's like they should just snag him, honestly.
I mean, if he, so this also comes down. It's a very similar Nolan Arenado situation, like in St. Louis. Mm-hmm. Is Nolan still on the St. Louis Cardinals come the trade deadline? And I think we said last week, we think he's just going to play out this year, finish up the contract, and then go.
That's the different situation for Vladdy. I think he's going to play for maybe a month or so until someone either grabs him or trade, or he just walks out. I don't think he's going to walk out, but
it's something to think about, though, because I mean, is Toronto even competitive this year? Are they in a wild card position when you look at Baltimore, the Yankees, and the Red Sox? I don't know. I think you had them second to last, Sean. In your outline.
I think I said Tampa was higher than.
Yes.
Didn't I say?
I think I think you went Blue Jays, Rays, Yankees, Orioles, Red Sox.
Yes, I think that's right. Yeah.
So you had the Blue Jays in last, based on last week's rundown. So I mean, they're going to be in sell mode. It seems like if Vladdy wants out and he wants to either go to Boston or to the Mets or to a team that's going to be competing for a championship, it's crazy to say that we're talking about the Mets and the Red Sox this year. Competing.
Well, we said we texted each other saying, hey, maybe a repeat of the 86 World Series, but in a different outcome, please.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's mind-boggling to me, and he wants to be there. I think he's looking at Los Angeles, and he's probably like, absolutely not. If I go to the Dodgers, I have no absolute role with this team.
There's too many people on the Dodgers to do that. Like. I don't think the Dodgers are spending way too much, I think.
The only other team I was thinking that would be very full circle is if suddenly we get to the point with the AL West, right? Because the AL West, to be in all honesty, you look at that division. I mean, you got the Sacramento Athletics, because I refuse to call them Las Vegas Athletics yet. You got the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Right.
You got Seattle.
You got Seattle out there.
You got Texas. You got the Rangers.
Texas Rangers, right? If Texas gets off to a weird start and Seattle doesn't hit it off right away, like Julio Rodriguez does not have a good start.
I was thinking he could go to the Mariners. I could see him go to Seattle.
That's
it. If Seattle has a playoff contention.
The only team I could see Vladdy going to in terms of impact in full circle would be the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, because of where his dad played.
Yeah. That was my second guess as well, but does he want to play for a team that's not made the playoffs in how many years?
This is it. The Angels have a lot to play for. I know I was watching the John Boy, which shout out to the John Boy media crew. They just did their rundown of like the teams for this year, and they put the Los Angeles Angels at number 25 out of 26. And I thought that was really interesting because it seems like their rotation hasn't figured it out just yet.
Okay,
They added new bats to the lineup.
You want to know the last time they made the playoffs?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's been 11 years since
been a while.
2014.
It's been a while. I'm just thinking, if this franchise wants to give Mike Trout the send-off that he deserves, then you're going to have to buy, and sell prospects by the trade deadline, because there's a realistic chance with this Texas Rangers lineup and the way that the Seattle Mariners have a really hot start and then start fizzling out a little bit after the All-Star break, that the Angels could figure it out. They could snag a wild card spot in the American League, knowing that that's been expanded. And then suddenly Vladdy's in the playoffs, and suddenly you got Mike Trout and Vladdy Jr. with the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim in the playoffs.
Is that enough? Is that enough to win it?
I don't know what their prospects look like. I haven't really paid attention to who they have playing for Salt Lake right now. Like, I don't know who's there. There could be players, or they could be willing to sell off those prospects to bring in a Dylan Cease from San Diego, because just down the road in San Diego, if they don't get off to a hot start in the NL West because of the Dodgers, because we know, what are we, exactly 3 years or 5 years, San Francisco Giants are probably going to be back in the conversation.
Honestly, yeah.
With Michael Conforto and JD Davis.
That's just how the Giants are.
It's just how they are. And I think you have to take that into consideration. If the Padres don't get off to a hot start, there's a team that's going to be sell.
Mm-hmm.
And the Angels have to look at that and be like, wow, hey, come play for us. We're going to go get Vladdy. We've got Mike Trout. We're trying to build up this roster from what we have. We've got playoff contention happening here where San Diego does not.
Yeah. I don't know.
If they trade for Manny Machado and Dylan Cease in a package with prospects, suddenly you got Machado at third and Vladdy at first and Mike Trout in right field.
Now
that's three big bats.
That's a lineup, though.
They got the money. They got the money to do it.
I think it's just hard for them to give up Trout if they do, too. If they want some more people, someone they're gonna have to.
Does San Diego say we want Mike Trout in exchange for those two?
Yeah,
like that's the key. I don't know, because I think we could get into it with the Padres. We just want Don Orsillo back.
Please, Don, come back.
Don, please. Like you liked our tweet that we put out saying we want you back, Don. We're gonna make a come home Gary sign and
come home, Don.
But the Padres have just been. I know you're a California baseball guy.
I've always liked the Padres,
but they're a mess.
They've always been a mess.
What's going on, your boy Xander?
Xander should just come back and play the Red Sox.
I mean, if the Red Sox are in contention, could there be a reunion? It's not good. If the Red Sox are in contention, they are in contention.
Yeah,
so it's like, Xander, come on. Because I know Dylan Cease was in conversation to come to Boston. There was that whole trade scenario of Dylan coming in and joining Garrett Crochet. But
yeah, the trade deadline is going to be so interesting coming up, see what's going to happen.
We say that every year. We're like, the trade deadline is going to be really good this year. It's going to be the best one yet. It's going to be, and then last year's it was like, what the hell?
I mean, for our teams, yeah. I mean, but those mostly for the baseball. Like,
yeah,
we haven't had a huge trade since the Dodgers Red Sox trade. Like a big as huge as that.
Yeah, that was really it. That's really.
We've gotten a lot of huge contracts down, but other than that.
I mean, one of those contracts, boy.
So 8 out of 10s were going to the Dodgers, so of those contracts.
Yeah. I mean, Juan Soto hit his first home run as a New York Met today, which is like
that's exciting. That must be exciting to see.
So exciting. I mean, he just looked at it. It was 440 feet to right field gone. Like, no problem.
Has Devers had a home run yet? Will I get a home run yet? We'll have to buy that Devers t-shirt or
That's
jersey.
right. I mean, listen, if you want to rethink the Devers shirt, since there's so much drama behind it, I don't.
No, we'll still keep that. I bet.
Are you still very happy that you owned a Will Middlebrooks shirt? Are you kind of like, eh? I mean, he's part of the Nesson crew now, so I mean,
yeah, I forgot I had a Middlebrooks t-shirt. I haven't worn it. I don't know how to do it.
Remember the hype behind Will Middlebrooks when he came up?
And then he got injured so many times.
It was like Andrew Benintendi. He got hurt.
Well, yeah, that and I also him trying. He was dating what the reporter at the time. What was his name?
Oh, that's right. There was some controversy there.
Not really controversy, but
I like to think it was controversy.
Yeah,
it makes it more fun.
Honestly,
it just makes it more interesting. Sean, how about your Pittsburgh Pirates? Let's number one, they looked really solid in spring training.
I haven't seen any. See, the thing, I haven't watched any spring training yet because it's always on.
No. Sorry, I was
screaming
at the cat. I was screaming at Sabine, Sean.
You can't scream at that.
Guess I can't. Well, I'm practicing. So.
Oh, okay.
Why'd she knock it over like that? Sorry, folks. Sean's trying to describe what's going on over here, and I'm interrupting.
I'm just enjoying the show.
Yeah, no, Pittsburgh Pirates are looking good.
Yeah, I haven't seen any spring training at all yet. It's always on when I'm at work. So it's always day games, the spring trainings most of the time.
I know it's like I'm at work at 1 o'clock.
Like, I can't watch it, so
it's a naughty cat back there.
But seeing some of the highlights are like, yeah, I'm excited for the Pirates.
Yeah, I know. I'm very excited for their. Oh, enough.
She's excited too.
Sabine's excited for the Pittsburgh Pirates. You're one of the few, other than Mr. Sean Misha, then Uncle Sean. And Uncle Sean. Yeah, Uncle Sean, and you like the Pirates. You are a pirate.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah, she agrees.
Yeah, I'm looking at, they won 10-5 today against Orioles.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. They got some great prospects, man. They're doing some good stuff.
Yeah.
Very excited for what they also Cleveland Guardians. Did you see their uniforms today at all?
No, did they get new ones?
They got new ones, and they're like 80s throwbacks. And I am listen, Stephen Vogt is their manager.
Let me see it. Hold on, I gotta find it.
They are pretty freaking dope. I will tell you that. I'm a fan of their spring training. I'll let you react live to seeing.
Yeah, well, keep talking while especially.
Yeah, no. I was really impressed. I mean, the Cleveland Guardians had a really good game today. Tristan McKenzie's coming back to pitch in the rotation. He's going to be, of course, starting alongside John Means, and very solid rotation. I think the Guardians are right there. I think if you're talking about a team in the AL Central, talk about a division that's going to be a lot of fun to watch. You got the Guardians, you got the Detroit Tigers, who are going to be much better this year than they were last year. They were very exciting at the end of last year because they had that opportunity to grab a wild card spot. And there was a lot of hype behind the kind of team that they were building. And just everything that we're starting to see come together in the AL Central. I mean, the Kansas City Royals, right? Kansas City's close, man. Bobby Witt Jr., Cole Ragans in the pitching rotation. They're really close.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Nice. They're so 80s.
So 80s. You got the striping going, the trim going on. Dude, I'm telling you, big logo jersey. Here for it. Red Sox need to do that. Put the double socks on the side,
If I want to get I want to get back into trading cards. I've been thinking about getting
Yeah?
back into trading cards.
Ooh.
Like I know I'm going to Japan and I'm gonna get some Pokemon cards. But like just thinking about like watching sports again, like more and more again. I'm like I kind of want to get back into trading cards, especially the new ones. Like
Yeah, there's some really good ones out there.
yeah,
I mean, Topps is like coming through big time with like jersey cards and parts of baseball bats from players that you can find. Like they're adding like legitimate memorabilia into card packs,
yeah. Like
which is really cool.
I mean, like I want to get more baseball more than like anything else. Like I think the ones are so cool to get. I wish NBA I got more like special ones. or
It's hard
tops.
with NBA, right?
Yeah.
The Panini cards, they're just really, I don't know.
At this point, I'd rather get the WNBA cards than NBA cards.
Seriously, right? Yep, you got a better chance of getting a jersey card or something in those. Yeah, no, I totally agree, and I think that there's a big movement towards people collecting cards again. I'm seeing it on social media. You know, you collected. I collected baseball cards growing up. It was a blast.
Yeah, like my uncle, he's a huge Celtics fan and all that, but he as a kid he had a bunch of like old baseball basketball cards, like really cool vintage ones, like from the 90s, I think, and 80s, and like had them in this like a thing like this size, a little more, but like a card pack, I guess.
Yeah, right.
It was and it was a little like wrestling cards too, which is cool.
Oh yeah, wrestling cards. I remember having a couple WWE packs and like getting like Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock. There were some really cool Rock ones with cool poses and everything. Yeah, no, I agree, and I think that that's something on this show.
Yeah, I think. I mean, we might have to open some packs on live here.
Awesome. That would be awesome. We each get a pack and just kind of like a box and just
like I'd rather go out and buy them, but also I kind of do want to purchase some like packs online.
Yeah,
that would be cool.
Yep. It's a good way of kind of deciphering which ones you want to get rather than going out. Like there's some online that you can't get in store, right? Like there's certain ones.
Oh, I should go when I am in Japan. I'm gonna see if I could find like Japanese baseball cards.
Oh yeah, find a Roki Sasaki card or like
that would be cool.
Daisuke Matsusaka.
See if they have any. I'm sure they have baseball cards there, of course. But
which, speaking of Daisuke Matsusaka, he was spending some time with the New York Mets this week. I thought that was interesting.
Was he?
Yeah, I forgot Daisuke was on the Mets. He was another one of those Red Sox players turned Mets pitchers at one point, and he was spending some time with Carlos Mendoza and the guys in the pitching rotation. And I think a lot of that is because we have Kodai Senga. I think he's good friends with Kodai. But boy, I mean, you want to talk about like some of these other young guys that are here now. I mean, Clay Holmes from the Yankees, he's now on the Mets. Daisuke was pitching around with him.
Clay Holmes.
Yeah, he's gonna be a starting pitcher. He was in the rotation for the Yankees. Now he's gonna be a starter for us, which I think is gonna be an interesting experiment.
Yeah. I mean, he was such a good pitcher for the Yankees. So
also the Red Sox.
I was gonna say, speaking of the Yankees, about
let's get.
Can we talk about this, because I saw this at work. It's like me having a beard and all of that, and it's like, oh, now for how many years have they had this rule for? You had to
forever
for clean shaving and all of that, but like now, they're finally getting rid of the rule, and now it has to be I guess they say a clean, well-groomed beard.
Like
it's
define to me what a well-groomed beard is.
Would this be a well-groomed beard? Probably not. I don't think so.
No, and I would argue that mine wouldn't be, because there's like a couple hairs sticking out. Like what do the Yankees do? Like,
so is it only they could have beards? Can they have long hair or whatever? Like,
can you look like Charlie Blackmon on the Colorado Rockies? Like, can you have the giant beard and the long flowy
Well,
hair?
can you look like the 2004 Johnny Damon before he shaved his whole
Jason
beard?
Booth of the Philadelphia Phillies when he had the super long greasy hair and the big beard? Is that what the Yankees want? I don't know.
I don't know. It's funny because I saw a TikTok the other day where they're like showing people because the beards are iconic and all that. And then I saw someone edit it. Like, imagine what's his name from the Rockets? Oh, it used to be in the Rockets. James Harden without a beard.
Oh, jeez. Nobody wants to think of that.
I can't imagine him without a beard.
No,
I'm sorry.
I can't imagine James Harden without a beard. There was an interesting point made, and let me just say something, okay? I didn't want any beef, okay, on X and Twitter. I didn't want it. All right.
It's Twitter or X. You're gonna get it anyways.
Yeah, right. Keith McPherson. Shout out to Keith McPherson. He hosts a show on WFAN on weeknights from 7 to 5. It's like, or 7 to 4. It's like a 5-hour show. He does some really good stuff. Big Yankees fan, not a big Mets fan. Okay. I went after Keith at one point using our Painting the Chat podcast feed, and I was like, when it was Giancarlo Stanton recently, he had some elbow problems. He's going to be out to start the year. He posted something about Aaron Judge. I'm like, how are those elbows doing on Aaron? And he was like, what are you talking about? He's like, wow, you only have like 35 followers. You only have this. I'm like, that's not what I'm talking about. That's not what I'm talking about, man. How is Aaron Judge's elbow? And I think at one point I was like, how are those elbows doing? And Keith was like, my elbows are great. How about yours? And I'm like, no, that's not, dude. It's not what I'm trying to get at. But listen, Keith, may not always agree with you as a Yankee fan. We are crosstown rivals, okay? He did bring up something, and I'll give him credit to Keith McPherson, WFAN, for saying this.
Mm-hmm.
He said that the Yankees are trying to get ahead of this because there are going to be a lot of young prospects that are going to come up through the ranks, through the minor leagues and whatever else. They're going to go on to sign a major league contract. And if they still had the hair policy in effect, younger kids, much like our generation and younger, would look at the Yankees and say, fuck off. I want to have my beard.
Yeah.
And they would lose that talent and they would lose that option because guess what? Beards are fucking in right now.
They are.
They've been for like the last 5 to 6 years. Like having a beard is a really cool thing.
Also having different hairstyles too. I mean, I remember looking at old videos of like the 90s of NBA and like a lot of the guys were bald. And now look at everyone. Yeah. Different hairstyles and all that.
That's right. That's right. So I have to give
credit. I think the bald was because of Michael Jordan and
right
and Kobe and all that.
So I got to give credit to Keith in that because I do think he's right. I actually believe he's right that the Yankees saw what's coming up down the road in terms of retaining prospects and bringing on new bats and new pitchers. And they didn't want to lose out on the opportunity because they have this hair policy and have had this hair policy. And to be honest with you, the Yankees were in the World Series last year, okay? They sucked. They sucked before that.
Yeah.
For a long time. And how much of that is because behind the scenes, the Steinbrenners were like, you got to trim it. And somebody was like, absolutely not.
Yeah. I'm sure a lot of players got a missed opportunity going to the Yankees because of that.
Yes.
It's like, I'm not playing there because I want to keep my beard. And then they went somewhere else. We don't know who that.
How many of those guys are now in the major leagues playing big ball for some of these other teams right now and are playing so well? And the Yankees are looking at it and they're like, we just lost Juan Soto. Like, I'm not going to bring up the loss of Juan Soto in it. I think it has a little bit to do with that because they're pretty pissed that Juan left and went to the Mets. So they know that the Mets have had the headlines in New York for a little bit now. And they had to do something to also grab a headline away from the Mets. I think that there's a little bit. I mean, listen, the Yankees aren't even the top talk in New York sports right now because you got the New York Knicks who are playing extremely well. You've got the Mets who are making a lot of impact. You have the freaking New York Liberty.
Yeah, I think Liberty has more talk than the Yankees.
Yes. So I
shout out to Sabrina.
Yeah, shout out to Sabrina.
Even I think she was playing on Rival today. She was doing. I saw it was kind of bad. There's one possession she was like missing like 3 times. Like, wait, Sabrina, you're not supposed to do that.
That's not.
She's just having an off day.
Not the Sabrina we know.
No.
But yeah, I think the Yankees. I don't know how you feel, Sean, but I think that this was a headline move. This was like we have been out of the conversation ever since Juan Soto left, and we got to do something.
So it's just their beard. Is just a beard policy, not the hair policy. I think that I think they still have to cut up their hair.
They still have to keep a clean look in terms of their.
I don't like that clean look thing. It's like. It's just.
Do you want me to pitch or not? Like
it just pisses me off. Like it's so pretentious of a.
It is. It's extremely pretentious. Absolutely. You got guys on the Mets with fucking gigantic beards half the time. Guys on the Red Sox. I love the way that Red Sox Nation has been treating this. It's like, do you remember the 2004 Boston Red Sox? Yeah. And how many beards are on that team? Johnny Damon and Mark Bellhorn started growing one, and Jason Varitek. And Kevin Millar.
Yeah, I was going to say
all the different facial hairstyles. Like 2017 Red Sox too. Beards. So many beards.
Yeah, you got Mike Napoli. Mike Napoli of.
Yes.
Was that 2017? I think it was 2014, I think.
2014. Wow, that's a deep cut. Mike Napoli. What happened to Mike Napoli?
Didn't he retire?
Well, yes, he did retire, but I'm just wondering, did Mike Napoli play for the Mets too? I think.
Oh yeah, well, he finished off in Cleveland.
That's right.
No, he did not play for the Mets.
No, he didn't play for the Mets. No.
He's the coach for the Reds.
Oh, okay. He not manager. Is he the manager of the Reds now?
The manager? No, he's the coach.
He's probably a batting coach. I would imagine. Michael Anthony.
Who is the Reds manager right now?
Is it still what's his name? Is it
Terry.
Terry's the manager there. I forgot. I thought David Bell was still there, but I think David Bell left. Terry Francona in Cincinnati. Wow. He likes his Ohio teams.
I hope he does well there. I hope the Reds do well with Francona.
They looked good. They had a split squad today. They look pretty good.
They're going to be a team that surprises us. Mark my words here.
NL Central, they're going to surprise you.
Yeah, with right up there with the Pirates.
Okay. I see what you did there. You said right up there with the Pirates. Okay,
but below. I didn't say they're going to win. I said they're going to be close.
At least you could think the Pirates are going to be better than Cincinnati Reds. Is that what we call the McCutcheon effect?
I hope so.
Imagine if they won a World Series for Andrew McCutcheon in his last year.
I don't know. I don't know if we'll see it on ESPN anymore, though.
Let's talk about that. Yeah.
Yes.
ESPN losing their rights to Major League Baseball. Bye Sunday Night Baseball.
Yeah, I was going to say, I always watched Sunday Night Baseball. It was fun. I like the team.
Who's going to pick it up? That's the question.
So, I mean, right now we have MLB Network playing it. We get TBS. We got Fox, of course. Is that all? Who else is
Apple TV?
TNT does not do baseball, right?
Who?
TNT does not do MLB, right?
No, TBS does.
Who is currently
Apple TV does Friday Night Baseball.
See, that's why I forget about the streaming sites that have it.
Yep. I'm really
and
thinking,
of course your local ones. So
Nesson,
SNUY or whatever for the Yankees. What is it?
Oh, they're on Yes. The Yankees are on Yes. Mets are on SNY.
Thank you. Yeah, I was thinking the Mets because UConn does SNY as well.
SNY, yeah, I love SNY. They have all the good teams on there. They got UConn, they got the Mets, they got St. John's basketball, they got all the good ones. Knicks, they cover the Knicks as well.
I think it's because ESPN is losing viewers at all for most of it, or is it just because of the streaming sites?
One of the big things that was thrown around about this was that there was not enough coverage of baseball on the talk shows during the day. First Take on
that. Yeah, that's the thing.
It's always been that way, though.
Unless it gets to the postseason.
Right, and then there's a conversation about it. I mean, is it because Mad Dog Russo has not?
I'm sorry to say, it's the same thing with NHL. I don't see it much to talk about, like baseball, right. and
they have a contract,
but it's usually NFL and basketball that's being covered, mostly on ESPN. Right. Mostly basketball. Even though ESPN doesn't play much basketball enough. It's usually because I don't really watch it unless it's college basketball.
Right.
Because basketball NBA is always on TNT, True TV, ABC, or also TBS sometimes.
Where do you think Major League Baseball goes from here? Do you think it's exclusively going to be watch your local channel? Because I received an update, and a lot of folks did who are Mets fans, that said, hey, guess what? SNY is going to have its own streaming app to watch the Mets.
See,
are we moving to that direction?
It's fine if you watch one team and all, but if you're a sports guy like us, sports people, we want to watch other games. That's why I liked watching Sunday night baseball because of it. Because I want to say, hey, I want to see the Yankees play against the Orioles or whatever, or.
Mm-hmm.
I've noticed all the ESPN, the Sunday night baseball is always the bigger teams. It's never like Mariners and like the Pirates playing or whatever.
Right. Yeah, it's always the Dodgers. Like this
the
3
Dodgers.
years, always the Dodgers, the Padres, Cubs. Usually, quite a few Cubs games, which I don't mind. Doesn't bother me. The Mets were on quite a few this past year, but that's only because we were playing.
I watched more baseball on the MLB network than ESPN. Yes.
And maybe that's a little bit of what's going on here. Is there's this realization that they're getting more viewership through Major League Baseball Network.
It's just because it's only some Sunday night for like baseball for the major sports networks, other than your local ones for like Nesson or whatever.
I think we're heading in a direction where places like Nesson and SNY and Yes are going to do their own streaming, and you have to pay for it if you want to watch your team in baseball, which is going to suck. The only thing is MLB TV. Like you can pay for MLB TV and have access to all the games, and do it that way too. And if you're a T-Mobile customer, you get it for free.
I mean, the same thing with the NBA Live or NBA TV. So
yeah, my dad and I split that. Like we want to watch all the NBA games as well, so let's buy that. NBC getting the NBA, like that was a huge move. It makes sense because like the Celtics are on NBC Boston.
Yeah, that makes sense.
NBC Sportsnet, like the Celtics are on there, so I think naturally,
that's their own one. And instead of NBC, this is NBC network, whatever.
Right. So that's already existed for some teams, that they're already on NBC Sportsnet Boston or Chicago or wherever. Like that's already happened.
Do we get more in Fox for baseball?
Does Fox really take on baseball?
Because it's only for the playoffs is where it was on Fox.
It was FS1. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fox could take over baseball, which means we get more Joe Buck, which I don't know how I feel about that.
He's been doing less and less, though.
He's been doing more ESPN.
Yeah, wasn't he at the Formula One F1 recently? Not recently, but
yeah,
that he was covering that. I guess he just likes to cover. I don't know.
Weird things for Joe Buck to be doing. Yeah, I don't know, Sean. I just, it's concerning. The whole thing for me too is like we grew up without streaming.
Yeah.
We had cable, and with cable, we could watch the Red Sox. We could watch Sunday Night Baseball. We could watch specialty games on the weekends that were on ABC or on TBS, whatever, right? It was accessible to everybody. Everybody could watch baseball.
Yeah.
Now we're getting to the point where there are kiddos that were, our age then.
YouTube Live does I just thought of a site. YouTube Live's doing a lot of the baseball stuff.
These kids are not going to have access to baseball like we had. But they're going to have access to football, and they're going to have access to basketball, which I don't mind about basketball. Like having
does Nickelodeon pick up baseball like they did for football? They do Sunday night.
Do SpongeBob baseball. Like do it.
Perfect combination.
It's a wonderful combination. They should be doing it. They should have been doing it a long time ago. I think NBC's got to if NBC just wants to sweep the floor here and say, you know what? We lost hockey last year. NBC lost hockey to ESPN. So you know what? NBC is the exclusive home for baseball and basketball.
Mm-hmm.
That would be wonderful.
Do you think just in general, ESPN is going downhill in viewership for just for everything? Like, I feel like there's more talk shows than the games itself.
I mean, we're ones to talk, but everybody wants to have a podcast. Everybody wants to have their voice heard in some way, shape, or form. And it's easy to do it. And ESPN is like, okay, let's do this show. Let's do this show. Let's do this show.
And it's like 6 hours of sports, and then the rest of it is all talk.
The topics are all the same.
By different people.
So to the next.
By different people. It's the same.
I mean, it's gotten to that point too where I've noticed this, and you and I have watched First Take for a very long time with Stephen A. Smith when they had, Shannon Sharp just joined that crew. He was on with Skip and Shannon, right, on FS1 for a little bit, and then Stephen A. had Skip Bayless on. That's when First Take, I feel like, was at its peak. Was when it was those two, because they got after each other all the time.
Right.
But Stephen A. Smith alone has found more success in the Stephen A. Smith show that he does at nighttime on YouTube than he does with First Take. I notice he is trending more towards, hey, don't watch First, hey, come watch First Take tomorrow. We've got this person. No, he's saying, watch the Stephen A. Smith show at 8 p.m. on whatever night. I am having this guest on. What questions do you want me to ask them? What questions do you want me to answer from you? I feel like if Stephen A. Smith is now saying, and he's been there a long time, if he's now saying, I'm not putting my attention into ESPN, I'm putting my attention into my own show now, something's up. Something's up at ESPN.
I mean, it was the same thing with Inside with TNT, with Shaq and Charles and the guys at the network.
I love watching the Pat McAfee show, right? I like what Pat's doing over there with the crew. It's a great show. It's unfiltered. It's great, right? But Pat was so successful before ESPN that ESPN said, we want some of that. The fact that ESPN reached out to Pat McAfee and said, we want you to join ESPN had to have meant our viewership sucks. We need you to come on at noontime until 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Talk sports.
I said, can ESPN get Charles and them to do their own studio instead of TNT?
It's a question. It's a question. I don't know.
Because I feel like NBA's viewership's still going down. It's like, can we talk about the All-Star weekend?
A failure that it was?
Yes. And how
I don't know what Adam Silver's gonna do.
And then literally after, it's like, hey, what? Let's talk and do a one-on-one competition. It's like, oh, are you stealing that from Unrivaled, what they did? Because our viewership is probably getting higher than the NBA is. It's like, okay, I don't want to hear freaking Kevin Hart fucking yapping all the time, or having Drewski there, or having Mr. Beast doing a Mr. Beast challenge. It's like,
oh,
okay.
The Mr. Beast challenge thing. Like, come on. What are we fucking doing? And then the Four Nations face-off. Hockey got more attention. The NHL All-Star Week that they had. The USA-Canada game was incredible. Hockey stole the show from the All-Star game of the NBA.
My friend at work showed me, like, I didn't watch it, but he showed, because he's not a huge sports fan, but he saw like stuff everywhere talking about it, like more than the NBA All-Star weekend, because of how terrible it was.
I don't know what's going on. I think
I'm having more fun watching Unrivaled. I mean, I love Unrivaled and all that, and college. Like NBA is not fun to watch anymore. I mean, it is for just watching the Celtics, but other than that, I don't really care. I'm still gonna love watching basketball, but it's like the way it's being promoted and viewed as a sport again. It's like, what are you doing?
I don't know. I don't know if they know what they're doing. And we're hitting this point now too where I'd be curious to see what Major League Baseball is like this year, whether Juan Soto gets off to a hot start, and how the Red Sox get started and whatever else, because I mean, this is an opportunity for baseball to really take the show, to really do take off in terms of viewership and do something different. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think the NFL will always be king in terms of viewership because of the sport that it is. I think that's always going to exist.
Yeah.
And the fact that other sports have to find their way to be like, how do we compete with the NFL? I'm going to be honest, Sean. I'm just like you. Like, you're finding your viewership in other places, like, women's basketball and college basketball.
Yeah.
I'm heading that direction too with men's basketball at the college level and women's.
Yeah, and you watching golf again? Like,
listen, I'm wearing it right now. Boston Common Golf. They're all our social media. They have been so good to us on social media, reposting stuff that we put out there. I'm loving TGL Golf, man. Stadium golf. It's incredible. And it's so much fun to watch. They got the hammers being thrown to double up the points and everything. Like, we are hitting the new age of sports. I think
these new sport, I think different sports are getting much more viewership, like more than the regular top four war. I mean, I think NFL will always be popular.
Yeah, there's no real fighting.
I mean,
yeah.
me and my mom are watching more tennis than the U.S. Open or the Australian Open, the French Open, or just even the smaller ones. It's fun to watch. I get more excited watching like a match than a regular season Lakers Celtics game, honestly.
Yeah. Yep. I know we've been talking about it for a while here, and we'll wrap up. But we wanted to make this a big topic, even to wrap up the show tonight, because it's something that has been going on. You and I have talked about it for a long time. It's like, when is the NBA? When is the NHL? When is MLB? When are they going to finally freaking switch it up?
I mean, don't get me wrong, we're still going to watch it all.
We're
sports podcast.
We're basketball fans.
We just want things to spice up and be more to watch more often than it is.
Right. And the fact that baseball lost a contract with ESPN, where baseball has been for a little bit now.
It's going to be even harder to watch baseball stuff. If I have ESPN on Xfinity and all that, but now I think the only way, I have Apple TV, I have Xfinity, so I have a MLB network. I can watch that. But I think it's gonna be for a Pirates fan. It's gonna be so hard to watch games if I like Pirates. But being a Red Sox fan, it's gonna be easy. I get to go on Nesson to watch it.
Yep.
And now it's gonna be less than are they going to do? In essence, going to do more Sunday night baseball for Red Sox than ESPN, unless they do, like you said, Apple Live or YouTube Live.
Yeah, YouTube TV. I haven't even thought about whether YouTube would take that over and make that a part of their package or something. Right? If you're a baseball fan, come over to YouTube.
Does Disney pick it up?
Wow, that's ESPN. But I see what you're saying. Yes.
Oh yeah, you're right. No mind. Just kidding.
No, but they could subsidiary it. And
I always forget Disney and ESPN's together.
ABC is part of that family. Yeah, they own a lot of that, and they own a Hulu now. Listen.
Who?
Netflix, Sean.
I was just thinking about it because the NFL football.
Does Netflix get into the realm of baseball?
I was going to say, or Max.
Yeah, Max.
I don't have Max anymore, but
Max is now associated with Disney, though.
Because prices are up again. Max, we had to get rid of some. So I can't.
But that's what we're talking about, is with the streaming. It's like, do I want to have to add another fucking platform that I have to pay for to watch this stuff? I know I sound like a boomer when I say it.
No, wait, you're right, because it's frustrating.
Like, they already have me for, I pay, I'm going to be honest.
I don't have Paramount. Does Paramount have baseball?
What's that?
Does Paramount Plus have baseball? Paramount?
No, they don't. They
what sports do they have any sports there?
NFL.
Paramount?
They do the NFL.
Do NFL? Yeah.
Yep. They do specific like special, special evenings. Listen, my brain now is completely moving in the direction of, Robin, baseball's going to go to NBC. It's going to be on Peacock, MLB on Peacock.
It always was on Peacock. A little bit, right?
They had a couple of.
I think they do more Apple. I think
maybe Apple takes it over.
Yeah, even though their streaming sucks there. I never watched a game on Apple TV, but I've seen people saying their stream sucks when they try to watch it.
Yeah, it's not great. They get Matt Vasgersian on there, and we love Matt. Matt's one of the better broadcasters when it comes. He's iconic. He's in all the games. Matt Vasgersian has been at it for the longest time.
No, we lose Ken Rosenthal, though, right?
Yeah.
ESPN. Does he go to
Apple or whatever?
Apple, yeah.
I would imagine that this.
I'm gonna miss what bow tie he's gonna wear. For what cause?
ESPN throwing Kenny out in the street like that. That's disrespectful. You've disrespected our man Kenny Rosenthal. It's not okay. It's not okay, ESPN. Figure it out.
I hope his first bow tie is to roast and ESPN because of that.
F-U ESPN on the bow tie. what cause is this benefiting? No
No
cause.
one.
It's
Because it doesn't help. It needs us to help.
it needs me. This is for me. This bow tie is for me. It's benefiting me. It's benefiting me.
Me.
At the end of the day. Oh boy. Yeah. I mean, we're gonna get updates at some point about this. I'm sure that
Probably.
I mean, they're not gonna let this go the entire season, knowing that the contract is expiring without announcing, hey, we've decided to sign on with Netflix or Apple or wherever. Like, they're not gonna let this go much longer without having another contract ready to go.
Yeah, especially this season coming up. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really important. So we shall find out. We want to thank you all for tuning in this evening here on Painting the Chat podcast. We're going to have more. I'm on my way to Disney on Wednesday, which, interesting enough, there's baseball happening in the town next door to us in Orlando.
Yeah, maybe you can try to catch a game or get a live stream.
I was looking. Red Sox are going to be in town, you know.
Fort Meyers.
Right around the corner. It's right around the corner. Could easily go.
Wait,
But
have you been in Fort Meyers for a game?
I've been in Fort Myers. I've never been there for a baseball game.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
I went to a baseball game in Sarasota growing up when they were for the Cincinnati Reds. And let me tell you, a certain number, what was he wearing at that time? Was it still 33? 32 at that time? Mr. Ken Griffey Jr. was playing for the Cincinnati Reds at that time.
Oh, yeah.
So as a young kiddo, I got to watch Ken Griffey Jr. play in spring training.
No, that's a lucky kid right there.
But my dad used to bring me all the time. He used to bring me to all the spring training games. I don't remember all of them, of course, because I was so young. But yeah, so I did go to spring training games as a kid.
I went. Did I tell you guys I went to the?
Yeah, last week. Yeah.
I did. Yeah, okay. I did. I don't remember last week.
That's the motto of this show. I don't remember last week. And on that note, folks, we won't remember this week either, and we
probably
will
not
next week on episode 9. I'm sure there's going to be more headlines. I'm sure there's going to be a whole bunch of stuff that comes out, whether it's around the Rafael Devers situation, whether it's some other drama in sports. We will have you locked in here and covering it, of course, across the board. Mr. Sean Micho, it's that time of the show.
It's plug time.
It's plug time here at Painting the Chat Podcast. Where can the good people find you on social media?
You can follow me on Twitter, Sean Micho1, where I tweet about UConn a lot. Or
I love it, man. I love it.
I didn't watch the game today, but once March Madness comes. So
people are loving your UConn tweets, so keep them coming.
You guys can follow me on Instagram at @itszonez, and if you want Facebook, we know the drill. Maybe not.
Maybe not. Make sure to follow Painting the Chat Podcast, of course, over on Twitter at Paint the Chat Pod, over on Instagram at Paint the Chat Pod. We've got all kinds of sports updates, things coming up down the road. Really excited to see some of the opportunities we will be having alongside many of our partners, maybe future partners.
Maybe
have conversations. Yeah, we were teasing it, and we will give you updates as that news comes in. Of course, you can follow me over on Twitter as well at X_RobinWVote, over on Instagram at IG_RobinWVote. And please make sure to smash that like button right now. Turn on those notifications and subscribe here to Blockade Media for everything happening with the Painting the Chat podcast, everything happening with Brick City Blockade podcast. We'll get back to it with this. It's been working on.
Yeah, it's been weird. We'll come back.
There hasn't really been much. I mean, that's been the problem. It's like we hit these walls.
We could talk about other things other than sports. That's
why
we did the Grammys preview and all that.
I'm even saying with Marvel and DC.
We don't have to do just Marvel. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah, we'll talk.
Well, this is a sports podcast. We're talking about other things.
That's right. Well, folks, until then, we will catch you on the next episode of Painting the Chat podcast, and keep it locked in for all the latest sports news, of course, from your buddies here, Mr. Sean Michaud, and myself, Robin Bowe. Signing off. We will see you next week. Be well, be safe, enjoy sports this week. See you later.
Later.